Objective monitoring of an attack on a minibus belonging to the Ukrainian armed forces in the direction of Krasnoarmysk using a KVN fiber optic FPV UAV with a first-person view. A Ukrainian FPV drone nearly hit a Russian soldier. Fortunately, the drone fell far away from the soldier. The Russian soldier is fine. No one was injured. Footage from the operation to liberate Zvanivka in Donetsk by a unit affiliated with the Southern Forces Group. Russian soldiers appear to be clearing houses one by one. They also appear to be capturing Ukrainian soldiers.
Don't forget to leave your opinion about the video in the comments, subscribe, and like.
Rosgvardia units struck UAV control points and Ukrainian armed forces positions in the direction of Kharkiv. Enemy targets were identified by the Russian Guard Regiment's 116th Reconnaissance Units. After the coordinates of the UAV control centers and the locations of Ukrainian soldiers were verified, they were struck by the Russian Air Force. A Russian FPV drone struck a transport vehicle carrying Ukrainian personnel. Footage shows Ukrainian soldiers noticing the FPV drone. They escaped the attack unharmed by a matter of seconds. No one was injured. After the attack, one of the Ukrainian soldiers is seen returning to the vehicle and retrieving a few items. What could these be? A Ukrainian soldier asked a Russian drone operator to spare his life. The incident took place in a section of the Zaporizhzhia front. Follow us on Instagram for more videos. UAV operators belonging to the 35th Army of the Vostok military group are systematically striking enemy forces in the Zaporizhzhia region near Hulapolye. The enemy lost its tanks in Orikovo. Fiber optic FPV UAV operators belonging to the Dnipro Air Force discovered Ukrainian armed forces tanks in one of the hangars in Orikovo, in the Zaporizhzhia region. The KVN pilot skillfully crossed the barbed wire and struck the enemy armored vehicle. Another UAV recorded the destruction of yet another enemy armored vehicle. The camera is monitoring the intersection. Enemy equipment was destroyed on a logistics route near Stepnohirsk. Numerous vehicles appear to be wrecked side by side. A Russian FPV drone operator encountered a Ukrainian soldier while conducting reconnaissance in free mode. The soldier did not fire at the drone. He just watched. The operators of the 1st Tank Army's UAV destroyed an American-made M113 armored personnel carrier belonging to Ukrainian soldiers in the village of Podoli. Another Snatch armored vehicle belonging to the Ukrainian armed forces was destroyed in the village of Pisky-Radkivsky. The 25th Army's FPV drone operators destroyed the enemy UAV in the air. As we always see, the Russian drone operator destroys an abandoned armored vehicle with its door open with a single strike. UAV operators burned a BMP-1 infantry fighting vehicle in the Kupiansk direction. Look, all the doors of the armored vehicle are open again. Footage of an airstrike on positions held by one branch of the Ukrainian armed forces. What do you think was the size of these FAB bombs? Footage of Ukrainian soldiers' shelters and basements in the village of Sofivka, Donetsk region, showing the work of FPV drone operators affiliated with the 68th Tank Regiment. Two drones of the armed forces of Ukraine, in perfect condition and intact, have fallen into Russian hands. According to the news report, they say, "We will update the software, change the colors, and fly over the enemy." Sumy direction. The Russian assault group broke into the positions of the Ukrainian armed forces. Almost effortlessly, it captured all the soldiers. No shots were fired. There was no fighting. They just surrendered. Those moments were captured on the helmet camera of a Russian soldier.
Быстрее! Тихо. Стой! 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 Стой, 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 стой! У него кольцо, здесь нахуй торчит, ты чё, блядь? Под гранатники! Сколько человек? Давай, давай, давай дальше. Туда, туда. Проходи, проходи, проходи. Сюда иди. Сюда, сюда, сюда. Сюда. Давай, 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 давай. Стой.
Там остался кто еще? Сразу сюда кидай. Автомат, автомат выкидывай нахуй. Давай сюда.
Давай, пошел.
Давай, руки поднял. Все, давай, давай, давай назад.
Слышишь?
Еще кто есть там? Давай руки, руки.
Near Soledar in Donetsk, snipers accurately hit targets at a distance of more than 1,800 meters.
Вот сейчас наблюдаю.
Так, вот второй вышел, да.
Выстрел.
Виктор, сбросьте связь.
Есть. Один есть. Есть.
Snipers of the Vostok troop group opened fire on infantry of the Ukrainian armed forces. A sniper told TASS that the recent reduction in the activity of the Ukrainian armed forces on the line of contact allowed the Russian troops to advance near Vuhledar. Russian reconnaissance has uncovered the bunker of the Ukrainian armed forces. The bunker was hit in the first attack, and for some reason, which I can't understand, the soldiers inside came out and preferred to hide outside. I guess they thought they would be camouflaged in the shade of the trees and in the grass. They realized that they had been detected by Russian reconnaissance drones and quickly went back into the bunker. Then the bunker started to be hit one after the other by attack drones. Troops of the 36th Combined Arms Army and the 14th Independent Guard Special Forces Brigade conducted a fire attack on a UAV checkpoint near Otradnoy. One Baba Yaga was also shot down by an FPV drone airstrike. A soldier with the DIM call sign single-handedly demined a road in the SSO area, opening a passage for Russian troops. The footage shows the deminer using a metal detector, a measuring tool, and his own hands to find and remove explosives left by the Ukrainian armed forces. At the same time, DIM received a shrapnel wound, but was able to leave the blast site, inject anesthesia, and continue demining. Follow us on Instagram for more videos. Kharkiv direction. Night attack. VT-40 drones destroyed all the enemy equipment, pickups, minivans, bukanka they saw during the night. At the same time, in one of the camouflaged positions was the American International Max Pro. It and all other equipment were destroyed during these night attacks. It looks like the infantry of the armed forces of Ukraine will now have to move on foot. Kharkiv region. As a result of the cooperative work of drones and assault infantry groups, the positions of the Ukrainian armed forces were stormed and Ukrainian soldiers were offered to surrender. Having laid down their weapons and surrendered, the Ukrainian soldiers were safely evacuated from the area. Footage of the operation in Toretsk. The first image shows Russian troops clearing the settlement in the Limansk direction. In the second image, soldiers from the assault units of the 67th Motorized Rifle Division of the 25th Combined Arms Army of the Western Group take part in active offensive actions. Temporary deployment points of the Ukrainian armed forces in Otradnoye were destroyed by Russian Molnia UAVs.
Don't forget to leave your opinion about the video in the comments, subscribe, and like.
For Russian fiber optic drone operators, moving through the woods doesn't seem too difficult. They destroy all equipment with nimble maneuvers. Kherson direction. Quite far from the banks of the Dnieper, Russian scouts discovered a hangar where the Ukrainian armed forces were storing equipment. The Russian Air Force destroyed the hangar and its contents with FAB bombs. The Russian Defense Ministry said that the Su-34 crew dropped a FAB-3000 high-explosive aerial bomb on the Ukrainian Armed Forces temporary deployment point in the Northern Group's area of responsibility. The temporary deployment point of the Ukrainian Armed Forces UAV detachment in Kurakove was hit by an FAB-3000 air bomb. Follow us on Instagram for more videos. Air attack by the Russian Air Force with the FAB-3000 on a dam near Popovka, Belgorod region, where the Ukrainian armed forces moved armored vehicles. Another image used by the FAB-3000.